Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu. Pakhair rogale. Ni hao. Chune shume. Washmale. Ohio Gozaimas. Guten Morgen. Hola, bonjour, previous. Kaifa hal. And a very amazing Khush Amadi to everybody who's tuned into PT World and are watching World this morning alongside the very lovely, the very amazing Mariam Shazad and Shazad Khan. Hello, Mariam. How are you today?
Hello, Shazad, and a very good morning. I'm doing very well. I hope you guys are doing great and you're ready to start your Monday morning with me and Shazad. I'm just going to copy him. I hope you're ready to wake and bake and so on and so
Rise and
forth.
shine.
Yeah,
So even if
carry
you're
on,
forgetting
carry
out
on.
on my lines, it's perfectly fine. Well, and that rhymes. But as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to kickstart our week. And for everybody who's out there, whatever you have been dreaming about, please make sure that you're still determined, you're focused, and whatever you've been talking about last night with your friends that this is what you want to do in life, please make sure that you one step ahead, move closer towards your goals. This is what we pray for. Please make sure that you keep a good eye on your children as well. If they're going to school, please tell them that they have to be very alert about strangers too as well because of the turmoil which we went through
Last
in
week,
the last week as well. So please make sure that everybody is safe. And if you're about to leave for your office, and if you're already late, please don't go to your office because if you are going to be in a rush, there will be loved ones waiting for you at home, and we don't want you to be in danger. So drive safe. But today we do not have any top stories. We are directly going to jump into a public service message. Let's see, what do we have for you today?
so as always, I'll be giving the public service message, and Shazad would be helping me out in this because I'll be talking about marital life.
Oh.
So we'll be talking about what is a marriage and how to have a very successful marriage. In my opinion, marriage is not a bed of roses. It's all about sacrifices. It's all about compromise. And to have a very strong bond with your other half, you need to have a very strong connection, a very strong
Exactly.
sense of understanding. So, for example, I saw this really good thing a girl did on her Instagram. It was called an asli picture. So that in that picture, the girl was cooking and the guy was actually helping her. So we have the stigma in our society that the men are just supposed to eat, sleep,
Why are you pointing
and
towards me?
repeat. So no, this is not what should we do. Shazad also helps me while I cook or while he takes care of my child, our child, Shazad,
Yeah,
our
thank you for
child.
saying that.
He takes care of our child while I am cooking. So it's all about a sense of responsibility, a sense of family. So marriage is all about how we interact with one another. Do you want to add something?
But I think I have a disagreement over here as well, and that is that obviously that husband who's actually good with culinary skills can help his wife in the kitchen. But certainly, as you just said at the start of the show, that I'm going to help you out with the message. So that means that there are areas where you can actually help your other half as well, and then there are some areas where you cannot.
See, we
So
have a
the
sense
other
of
half,
understanding.
yeah. So the other half actually needs to understand that he's not good in cutting carrots or onions. So let me do what I can do best too as well. And when I know that you can do it best, so it's best that the best person chooses for the best option. So it's quite a lot of best in one way. But other than that, moving on towards what we're going to discuss today, ladies and gentlemen, on the 13th of January, which was Saturday, there was a developers festival which took place, and it is basically organized by GDGs, which is the Google Developers Group as well, and we have a total of 650 groups all over the world, and it is obviously sponsored, or it's on the platform of Google, where people come together to talk about different issues, or probably role of women in information technology, artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. So all of those people were actually responsible, who are a part of these groups too as well, and the ones who actually organize this Developers Fest over here in Pakistan are with us over here in the studios. We're going to ask them what happened, what kind of lectures were there, what kind of musical festivities were going on, and how much did they enjoy it. Do you want to add
So
on?
yes, what is basically we're just going to start by asking them what is Dev Fest, and if normal people like us want to register for Dev Fest, how to go about it, so on and so forth. So we have our experts sitting here with us in our studio. Shazad would do the rest of the honors.
So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Head of Business Operations at Demo Enterprises and Co-Manager GDG Islamabad, which is Google Developers Group. He's none other than Mr. Muhammad bin Masood. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you, and welcome back.
Walaikum Assalam. क्या हाल चाल है? I'm
Thank you
good.
very
I'm
much for
good.
joining us. I'm absolutely
Welcome.
perfect, and we're definitely going out for tea, right?
Yeah, we are.
All right. Alongside Mr. Mohammed bin Masood, we have been joined by somebody who's the Director Code for Pakistan and Executive Member Open Islamabad. And Open, ladies and gentlemen, is Organization for Promoting Entrepreneur in Pakistan, and she's none other than Ms. Sidra Jaleel. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good. How are you?
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. All right. So, other than Sidra Jaleel, we have been joined by somebody who is the CEO, Anthem, because
Yeah.
it's a Japanese name, ladies and gentlemen, and it stands for Intelligence Home Surveillance Solution. And he's none other than Mr. Arshian Anwar. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamualaikum. It's really great to be on your show. I guess Mohammed and Sidra has got experience, but it is my first time on the show.
It's
So,
perfectly all right. This is your own show. We are here
Thank
to
you.
tell
Thank you
people
very
what
much.
happened on DevFest, and it's not going to take long. Just
Sure.
imagine that we are in our drawing room with three sets of
Yep.
televisions. We call them monitors, and these three cameras, and then our amazing cameraman over here as well. So let's get started with the conversation. Mohammed, I'll start with you.
All right.
What is DevFest and what is GDG?
So I'm going to just trickle it down from Google. We all know Google.
Yeah.
We all use it for search. We all use it in our smartphones. We use it for a bunch of other things. So Google over the years thought that they have such a big platform that they would want to have different communities all across the world.
Okay.
And those communities are volunteer communities. They're people who are passionate about Google technologies, about Google products. Like Android is one of the Google products. YouTube is one of Google products. So we all use all of these products, but we don't know how they're developed. We don't know where they came from and who wrote the code behind all of these things.
Right.
So over the years, Google developed these Google developers groups,
Yeah.
which are basically communities of developers, designers, marketeers, and technology enthusiasts
Right.
all across the world to actually contribute in building Google products. Because at the end of the day, these products are for those communities. We here in Pakistan use YouTube a lot. So it's good to have an insight on how YouTube should be framed or built for Pakistan.
Only if it's not banned, right?
Yes, if it's not banned.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is what Google thought, and then they developed Google Developers Group, which is basically community-led groups all across the world. I am part of one of those chapters, Google Developers Group Islamabad.
Right.
And just like that, we have one in Karachi, we have one in Lahore, and then there are 650 all across the world.
Oh, lovely.
So why do you think there was a, okay, so when the groups were formed, why do you think there was a need for developers festival?
So obviously, when
So
there's
that
a
developers
community,
might think that, oh, thank God we're working for a good organization.
so developers are working for different organizations, and the thing is, when we hear the word developer, we usually think it's a person who's just sitting behind a laptop or a computer and who's coding all day, and he's a nerd, and he doesn't interact that. And that is mostly true in most cases here in Pakistan. But all across the world, this is not. Developers are usually the people who are most fun-loving, who are outgoing, who are really social,
No,
who
man,
who
no.
party a lot. Yeah.
No,
So,
no.
I'm telling you.
Dude, I've experienced it all, by myself. So when I was living in Karachi, ladies and gentlemen, 4 of my friends who I used to live with were developers themselves, and they were just married to their laptops. That's it. They were finding bugs, reporting them, finding bugs, reporting them, and they were in a rat race where who actually found the most bugs in a program. So I have never ever seen them going out. The only thing they would wear is a vest and a short, and they would lie down on their couches and all day long. Even their mothers would call and they would be like, Mom, I'm busy, I cannot talk to you. And at a certain period, after a certain period, his mother actually said, why don't you get married to your laptop? Because you're in conversation with your laptop most of the times, throwing it somewhere else and whatnot. So why do you think that developers need a festival like this?
So again, because of this exact stigma, I mean, they're portrayed in a way that they're not. And I mean, obviously, a majority of the developers here in Pakistan are like this. But across the world, they're not. And people actually wanted to have a gathering of all these developers. Actually, Google wanted to have a gathering of all these developers and to have fun out of it, to make sure that the knowledge is exchanged. So if I know something, I would be able to exchange that with a bunch of other people who are working on the same technology but using it in a different way.
Okay, so let's just ask Sidra over here. So what happened on this developers festival? Because we weren't
There are a
invited.
couple of activities
No,
we're
you're
going
not
to do.
supposed to get invited. It's like you have to register yourself for it.
All right, we'll ask them. Yeah.
Okay, so there were a couple of activities that we did there at DevFest. There were talks, seminars, discussions around different,
Areas.
social matters. role of women in the IT domain. Then there are some hardcore technologies have been discussed there, like machine learning, impact of IoT. What are the other things that need to be developed, etc. Yeah.
All right, that's just cool. So, I mean, that was it about the festival, ladies and
So what is
gentlemen.
the best thing to do at this Google Dev Fest?
Best thing to do?
Yeah.
So I think this festivity is not just about the changing the personification of developers. It's more about celebrating what they have done all over the year. The
Right.
annual celebration. The objective of this is to bring their portfolios, showcase it to the public, to the leaders who are coming from across the globe, and discussing with them what exactly is happening there, what are we doing here, and what are the other technologies, other things that
Yeah.
we need to work upon in the next 2 or 3 years, and
No, but there's one thing which I cannot understand, and that is just for example, Mohammed bin Masood is actually related to, in cooperation with GDG. But as in for you, you're the director code for Pakistan and executive member of Open Islam, and you're the CEO of Anzan. So people from different organizations getting together under one platform. Why?
So basically, what we do is in GDG, we bring in the most accomplished people from different industries.
Right.
So just like that, Sidra has been a speaker in one of the panels at GDG, which was Women in Tech, the role of women in disrupting the technology ecosystem in Pakistan. So Sidra was a panelist for that.
Wonderful.
And then Arshian is an expert in artificial intelligence. He has a startup by the name of Anzan that works on artificial intelligence. It's a surveillance system and a bunch of other things. So he was also a panelist for machine learning for dummies.
All right.
So we wanted
Right.
to make sure that the masses know what is machine learning.
All right, so let's just move on to Arshian. So what was your role in DevFest?
So basically, just like Mohammed bin Masood said, I was supposed to tell normal people what machine learning is. Basically, just carrying on your conversation as well. Normally, people think that the people involved within the technology domain just keep to themselves, and they speak a very different language. But for us, for me especially, it's a very sort of a driving force that we make sure that people, normal people, any ordinary person can understand what is the technology itself and how it's actually impacting it. For example, in case of machine learning, the very simplest example I can give to explain machine learning is watching a kid grow up, right? So it learns on its own. There are some times when the parents tells it, okay, there's something like, for example, a knife is dangerous. Sometimes it experiences things on its own. For example, when it starts walking, it just falls and then starts walking again.
For example, one knife is useful too, to help wives in the kitchen too as well. So they're both types of learning.
Yeah. So basically, it's how you teach a computer to learn, and then based on that learning, what kind of information you can gather. You will be really surprised at some of the solutions that a computer can come up with, which the humans haven't even perceived.
Right.
So are you trying to say that computers in days to come will be adaptive to their environment?
They already
They're going
are.
to learn by themselves?
They already are.
Oh, no, but all they ask for is an update,
is
and
a
you
power
have to agree
cord.
to that
Is a
too.
power cord. Just
Yeah.
a power cord. Basically, what nowadays artificial intelligence, or in Urdu what you call is masnui zihanat, they are really focused on very narrow problems, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, artificial intelligence or a machine learning system that has been programmed or optimized to drive a car can only drive a car. If you put that program to make some, let's suppose, a dish, it will just fail miserably.
So, for example, the film I watched, Rise of the Planet of Apes,
Yeah.
now it's going to be Rise of the Planet of Computers. So do you think in days to come they're going to take over, really?
Within the technology domain, there's actually a lot of difference or a lot of opinion between these things, that is artificial intelligence going to be good for humanity. For example, renowned researchers like Stephen Hawking and industrialists like Elon Musk, they fear the artificial intelligence. They say, okay, it should be controlled.
And they're the ones who are bringing it in too as well. But I'm a great
Yeah,
fan
exactly.
of Elon Musk though, by the way.
So one fascinating example I can give is that Facebook developers, they actually created a machine learning and artificial intelligence programs that started communicating with each other.
Right.
So within time, I think it was, I don't remember the exact time, but within time, it developed its own language that was imperceivable by humans. So they had to shut the whole project down.
Oh my
So-
God. So what about that person who actually invested billions of dollars into that program
So
too,
that
as
was
well?
just a Facebook project. So
All right.
they've got more billions to
So
spend.
please
over
stop,
there.
people. I don't know whether we have to stop or we still. I think what we need to do is that we need to be adaptive too. We need to change with time. We need to learn, and we need to be faster with our learning, because this brain which Allah has actually gifted you with, start using it other than relying on machines. But what about your role in DevFest?
So I am the co-manager of DevFest, which basically puts us in a place that we have to make sure everything goes smoothly. We have to make sure that there is a good venue. We have to make sure that we get all the speakers on board. We have to make sure that the talks are curated in a way that the audience is enjoying it. And then we have to make sure that a ton of developers, designers, and people show up to the event.
Yeah.
So this one took place at National Incubation Center, and we had around almost
At
200
HEC or
people.
NUST?
No, it's in H9, National Incubation Center. It's in the NITB building, I guess. So it was our job as volunteers and as chapter managers that we need to make sure that the exact people who want to benefit from these talks, from these sessions, show up. And by the way, there were a bunch of design and code labs as well. So
Right.
hands-on experience into design, how designing is done, how detailing and observing things makes you a good designer, and code labs on Firebase, which are much more technology advanced sort of applications. And they're obviously not for your everyday users, but for those developers, they're really interesting things, that this is what Google is doing on this technology, this is what they're doing on this technology. And here in Pakistan, how different people are using those technologies to build solutions for people.
Exactly.
right,
Amazing.
So the same question. What is your role in DevFest?
So I'll be speaking at one of the panel as
Right.
Masood discussed, but talking from the Code for Pakistan's platform, we believe in collaborations, be it with government agencies, be it with private sector or NGOs, or even the online or offline communities.
Right.
We are regularly running these civic innovation labs in Pakistan, from Islamabad, Jalalabad, Peshawar and Karachi chapters, where what exactly we do is, we bring upon volunteers, ask them to identify the local problems and bring solutions around it, be it an app or a website or a web portfolio that can eventually improve the, civic innovation ecosystem of Pakistan. So our objective, be it DevFest, be it Open, be it Code for Pakistan, is
Right.
to promote the entrepreneurship culture in Pakistan and to, help government achieving the, goals we have set for the 2020.
2020.
Amazing, and we'll definitely
Perfect.
get back to that, ladies and gentlemen, after a short break, where actually we're going to ask Sidra about the role of women in disrupting
The tech ecosystem.
the tech ecosystem. I think that's quite an interesting topic too as well. Let's go for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Good morning.
right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV while you watching World This Morning alongside Mariam Shahzad and Shahzad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Developers Festival 2018, which took place on the 30th of January. We have been joined by the organizers of the Developer Festival as well, and then the people who were actually talking about or were there to talk about their different topics and initiatives which have been taken within the technological industry over here in Pakistan. But as a matter of fact, before going towards break, we were in conversation with Ms. Sidra Jalil, and she actually had a talk on the festival about women's role in disrupting the technological ecosystem. Why disrupting?
So first of all, I would like to speak a bit about role of women in IT sector.
Alright.
So I think the role of women, not just in IT sector, but in any other domain, has been stereotyped all over the globe. And obviously within Pakistan, the situation is not different.
Yeah.
So there are very few in numbers. So talking about why is it happening? I believe there are three different categories. First of all, the women who do not get enough opportunities to reach there.
Right.
Then the second category is those women who are already working in this domain, but due to some reasons they drop out. And the third is, those women who cannot get to the leadership position, let's say, they are unable to continue their future for like, more than 15 years or 20 years. So those who do not get enough opportunity to reach, here I'm talking about, women living in, rural areas, or let's say, smaller cities of Pakistan. Here in capital, with more than, 27, 28 universities, it's easy to get, education and get enough
Exactly.
opportunities. We have tech sector based here in Islamabad, and it's easy to get, get into
Right.
board and, avail those. But talking about the smaller city, the second tier cities, Gujranwala, Sialkot, Lahore, not Lahore, Multan, and Faisalabad, Okara, Dipalpur, etc. There are hardly any universities who are focusing on educating women in the
yes.
tech domain, in the STEM domain. So I think, and then on the other hand, yes, we appreciate that, we endorse that government is working on few initiatives like offering freelance education, freelance training programs,
yeah.
and Google is sponsoring a lot of programs for promoting this
Is
coding culture.
MITB, and there's one program in Punjab too as well.
PIT.
Yes, PITB, and they are offering these offline trainings to women, and giving them seed money to help and grow their own startups based at home.
Exactly.
But I think there is a need to launch this sort of a startup emergency all over Pakistan to encourage not just women but men as well to promote this culture and help them grow. Talking about women who are already in the domain, in the industry working, and unable to get to the leadership positions or drop out very frequently is
Right.
because I think they do not get enough, exposure, and the workforce and the environment is not feasible to, to continue their career for the longer run. I believe from platforms like us, from platform like Google, they're offering a lot of mentoring programs where these women can subscribe for
Right.
free and get online, offline trainings from quality mentor
Right.
already working in this domain. So yes, there is a bright side, and then there is a dark side. Over the years, things have been improved. For the past
Right.
3-4 years, we have seen a tremendous growth, more women coming into this sector. But I think this will take a bit of more time, and within 2 or 3 years, we'll see a more progressive industry, inshallah.
Right.
Well, that's just cool, but so now we have to come back to the point where we were talking about disrupting the tech ecosystem. So what did you talk about that?
I think tech is everything. Technology is everything. With if you might have noticed this, within the 4 or 5 years with the 3G, 4G evolution and everything, Pakistan has become the the evolving internet growth industry, and with almost 25-30% using the internet, we have seen growth hacking apps, solutions like the car riding services, apps that are impacting the civic life. So I believe there is a need to disrupt the ecosystem, to disrupt the technology to help and help and improve a common man's life.
The ecosystem. I
Yeah.
think that's why. Let's just move on to Arshiyan over here. Arshiyan, what happens is that over here in Pakistan, since the time I've grown up, we have known that we are an agriculture-based economy, and it is very hard for us to transform from an agriculture-based economy to a technological-based economy too as well. But it is the need of the time. For example, if we have a truck full of wheat, we send it to some other country, the only thing they're going to send us back is probably one phone, and we're not going to be able to compete in the international market. So in days to come, do you think that Pakistan would be able, because you're working on artificial intelligence, to transform itself or its economy to such a greater level where we are just technological base for, or probably do you think companies like iPhone, Samsung, Dell and all such sort of companies are going to originate from Pakistan too?
So basically, what I would like to say is that technology is just a tool, right? So it can be applied anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's suppose if we are an agri-based economy, we should focus how technology can actually advance that agriculture, right? So for example, I've witnessed in USA that they've got miles and miles of fields that are being cultivated or harvested by autonomous machines. Those, imagine a tractor that is able to make sure that aapki wheat bilkul sahi cut rahi hai, and they are controlled by GPS. There is no driver inside it.
Yeah.
The guy is just sitting in his lounge and just monitoring, okay, all the wheat is just being harvested, right? So any, let's suppose if we are talking about China, right? So they are manufacturing oriented economy. They focus on manufacturing. Again, technology comes in, they bring in additive processing. Like for example, normally if you see हमारे process क्या होता है कि अगर आपने कोई table बनाना है या कोई चीज़ बनानी है, आप लकड़ी को तराशते हैं, उसमें से निकालते हैं, ठीक है? अब इंडस्ट्री इस चीज़ पे गई है कि आप तराशते नहीं हैं बल्कि उसको खुद बनाते हैं. प्लास्टिक जो होती है वो एक बाय एक लेयर आती रहती है और उसके बाद बनती रहती है. सो टेक्नोलॉजी इज जस्ट अ टूल दैट कैन बी अप्लाइड एनीवेयर. फॉर एग्जांपल हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी को किस तरह इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं अपनी कंपनी में. आपके जो घर पे लोग आते जाते हैं आपको नहीं पता होता, ठीक है? हम लोग क्या करते हैं, आपको मोबाइल पे फौरन बता देते हैं.
Okay, I'm sorry to barge in, but you know,
Yeah.
since the medium of communication we opt for is English on this channel, because otherwise I'll have to actually then translate and tell to everybody else as well. So make it easier for me. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what we do is we make sure that anybody who's coming into your home, you get your ping on your phone.
Yeah.
So behind that, it looks very simple, right? So just a face and then it tells you who it is. But behind that is the artificial intelligence. The magic behind it is the artificial intelligence that actually sees the face, runs a comparison across all your family faces, and then tells you, okay, Arshan came at your home.
Yeah. Well, you cannot because you. Yeah, certainly you can.
Not right now.
All right, well, it's perfectly all right. We are friends now. But ladies and gentlemen, we were so inspired by Arshian's talk about the Deaf Fest and artificial intelligence as well, that we have actually taken out a trailer from the movie I, Robot, and it tells you about robots having brains but then hearts too as well. So whether we should be scared about robots being very intelligent or not, but whatever happens, they fall in love too as well. Go ahead, check out the trailer.
We designed them to be trusted with our homes, with our way of life, with our world. But did we design them to be trusted?
The rollout of USR's new generation of robot, the NS5, was marred by the death of designer Alfred Lanning.
Identify. Murder's a new trick for a robot. Respond.
Don't murder him!
We're gonna miss the good old days.
What good old days?
When people were killed by other people.
My robots don't kill people.
That thing threw somebody out of a window. Is that registering with you?
A robot cannot harm a human being.
And you trust them if you want to.
We look to robots for protection. Imagine the loss of all that we've gained because of an irrational paranoia.
Does thinking you're the last sane man on the face of the earth make you crazy? Because if it does, maybe I am.
Maybe you can be looking in the shadows all the time.
You're on the inside. Help me find out what is wrong with these robots.
Dr. Lanning suggested robots might naturally evolve.
I was hoping to see you again, Detective. Think of me as your friend.
Why didn't you just hand the world over on a silver platter?
Maybe we did.
We are on the eve of the largest robotic distribution in history. There will be one robot to every 5 humans.
How many robots have ever committed a crime? How many robots in the world?
None.
There is no conspiracy. What this is one mistake.
Oh, hell no.
you so just doesn't quite say it. Get off my car!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they say about fiction. Fiction becomes reality, and there was only one man who saw it coming. So do we have anybody over here who sees it coming too as well? Anybody, Arshian? I think this is a question
Lots
for you.
of people see it coming.
All right, that's just great. Do you want to move on with the conversation?
Yes, I do, and I want to ask Sidra that how is technology is impacting us? How is it affecting the our lives?
So before working on any project, we usually ask consumer feedback. How is it impacting your life?
Yeah.
So let's say I'll give you an example. We studied a recent survey conducted by some organization, and we identified that a lot of people in Pakistan generally people are frustrated. We did some interviews and asked the reasons, why do you feel frustrated? They said, because when there's a lot of instability. When we step out of our homes, we don't know what exactly going to happen today.
Right.
If you have to visit a government institute for our, let's say payment of electricity bills or, going to some excise office, etc., it will take us, even if it's a 1 hour process, it will take us 2 or 3 or 4 hours,
Right.
It's going to be this long. Then we identified, okay, why do you believe it will take so long? Because, protocols are not defined, we'll go to counter 1, then counter 2, then counter 3, it will take a lot of time. And, if the XYZ person is not sitting there, then
Right.
this will be an additional cost and time and everything. So, okay, then we, gathered a community of developers, design enthusiasts, we did some brainstorming and identified that, a single app, a single portal or some information and maybe sometimes a simple infographic placed on a, government department's office right in front of the counter on the customer facing window can resolve this problem, By knowing the process itself, by booking your appointment online a night before you're visiting this government institute can save
Right.
you a lot of time. It's just that people do not understand that what exactly is the right process to follow.
Okay.
So this is just one example. I'd like to quote one quick example
Yes.
as well. We recently went to a chamber of commerce in locally, and they said that we have over 10,000 organizations registered with us. But this is such a small town that if you are following a main highway and you have to find out what is the next available mechanic or a jeweler or a tailor, let's say,
Right.
we cannot identify. We have to go through the whole list and identify, okay, gee, next tailor or next this
Right.
is 10 miles away near. Now we are developing an app that will simplify everything. It's a very quick GIS mapping solution that will, if you are following the highway, you can track where is the next available mechanic or whatever
Or
stakeholder
an
this is.
ambulance or a doctor or a clinic.
So yeah, the objective is to reduce the time, to facilitate, to give you accessibility of all the information that is already there with government and citizens.
No, but then
We are
don't
just-
you think that all of these, fulfilling all of these objectives will actually leave quite a lot of people jobless and homeless too?
So we believe in providing.
Is it even a concern?
So we believe this will give more opportunities to people to build a career along it, because there are a lot of organizations going wants to be promoted, who wants to be to go public. A local mechanic, a local trader cannot afford a public promotion on such platforms.
Yeah.
We are doing it for free for them. We're making them public, listed on a web portal which can be accessible to the whole population.
Yeah, I think this is the better side of the picture too as well. But I'll definitely come back to you.
Yeah.
But it brings me to a point where we need to be very assertive about digital learning. Now, for example, somebody who does not, a mechanic certainly does not know how to create a footprint on social media platforms or on internet, or how to be located, or how to use the hashtag, or how to tag somebody so that you're available everywhere. How are we going to go about it? And how do you think that Google's helping all our developers over here to create awareness amongst all of those other people?
So as part of my core organization, which is Demo Enterprises, we run a bunch of master classes, and we also have a school of skills known as the Skills First. And what we believe is that in the next 5 years, like you said, the jobs that are taking place today will be obsolete. So you will have to make yourself more advanced, you will have to be more skillful and digitally skillful in order to compensate for all of the jobs that are going to be created. So that's the one aspect.
Okay.
There would be lots of opportunities, but you'll have to be skilled enough to be a part of that. And a lot of organizations like ourselves, Skills First, are working on that, on educating people on digital skills.
All right.
Now, the other aspect is what Google is doing. So Google is developing these communities all across the world for this sole purpose, so that people are more aware of their technologies. So those technologies can actually be simplified so that the users can actually experience them. And then the last aspect is the people. Because obviously, at the end of the day, users are everything. We have almost around 25% of internet penetration now. The last survey said it was around 17%. And people don't know exactly how to use their cell phones. The only thing that they know is probably how to go to the settings, how to operate a camera, how to open, how to install
to change your ringtone.
I don't think a lot of people don't even know that. And we know that we tried that actually in a couple of surveys. People don't know how to change their wallpapers. 50% of the people don't change their wallpapers in the entire extent of their cell phone.
Right,
yes.
right.
Okay.
People don't. So what we are doing, we're actually building awareness for digital literacy, which is something which is going to be essential in future for every job.
Right.
Even if you're working at a cafe, even if you're working in a technology
So
firm.
you're going to write it in your CV.
Yes, actually, you don't have to write those digital literacy, but you're going to write that I am technologically advanced. I can use this tool. I can use this tool. I can use this tool.
Right.
And we use it all the day. I mean, Microsoft Office is one of the very simple examples. But then again, installing a Windows, installing an operating system on your Android
Or
phone,
even using Google Maps.
Yes, Google Maps, just like that. A lot of people don't know how to use Google Maps. We have to dictate to them that this is the address, this street, this house, this, that. But this is what we want to make sure that people of Pakistan, people across our own culture can understand those technologies and can benefit from it. So like Sidra said that she's developing an app, I am 100% sure 80% of the users would not know how to use that app. So this is the other aspect, the technology learning aspect, the digital literacy aspect that we are working on, so that people are more aware on how to use these technologies for their own benefit.
Right, right.
All right, amazing that is. Sarshan, you wanted to add on to something.
So basically, adding to Cesar's point, there are a lot of technologies that, just like Mohammed also suggested, that using a map, simple map, is sort of considered a luxury, but it shouldn't be. It brings all the convenience you can get, right? For example, in real time, you can get information if there is a roadblock. For example, when I'm getting ready in the morning, my phone pings me that, yes, it will take you 10 minutes. Or let's suppose if there is a road blockage, yes, it will take you 20 minutes, take this alternate route.
Right.
So that brings the convenience, right? So one of the very most common examples that I use for myself is just setting a reminder. I just ping my phone, set a reminder for this at this time. And it just does that. So it will bring convenience. What we need to do is make sure people know how it brings the convenience.
Exactly, but one last thing, and before we wrap it up, and that is, are you guys like Android freaks, or are you guys in favor of Apple? This is that war which always go in between, your friends, and you sit down and somebody shows off their Android techniques and somebody shows off their Apple techniques. So what do you suggest?
So I can't suggest one because I've been an Android user all my life, but I have an iPhone right now.
Okay.
And I'm a Google representative and Android is Google. So there are like a lot of conflicting interests over here.
That's not doing justice. So then what about you?
So I'm an Apple fan, but I'm thinking to switch to Android, I'm not very happy with the new version.
All right, Arshia.
So I've got an interesting case. I've been an Android user, a Windows phone user, back to Android, back to Windows, and back to Android now. So
you're always Android guy.
Yeah, Android and Windows.
All right, amazing that is. But one last thing before we wrap it up, how do you see the people taking advantage of such festivals in near futures too as well, and how do you think that it's going to impact our industry?
So what I believe is that people are generally becoming more aware with the internet penetration, and how they can benefit from these festivals and these events is that they just take part in it. They're more interested, and we're seeing this over the couple of years. Like we had double the participation this year because more people are into this industry. More people generally want to know about Google technologies and how they're impacting them. And the future obviously lies with the people who are more passionate about it, who are people who want to bring a change. And I think on the lines that we are going, on the lines in which Punjab IT Board, Federal IT Board, National IT Board, and even KP IT Board are working, is basically this exact same thing. they're making people aware on digital literacy, on digital skills,
Right.
so that they are able to contribute to a digital economy in general.
Exactly. Thank you very much for being with us. It was
Thank you
lovely to
so
have
very
you,
much.
and it was lovely to talk with you guys too as well. But as a matter of fact, for all those people who are out there, you know, there are many festivals of such sort are going on. Other than festivals, you know, there are very training programs going on behalf of the government. You know, Punjab government is doing it. Our federal government is doing it. There's a project for freelancers. Then obviously, you know, Mohammed bin Masood said it very correctly that for all those people who behold the passion of doing something related to this industry will definitely get to know about it. If you still do not know about it, I think I've told you enough now. It's your job to go do your own research as well. Mariam, do you want to share anything?
I hope you loved the show today because it was very informative for me. I wanted to add on that, you know, I was telling Mohammed bin Masood earlier that I have an iPhone and I have no knowledge about technology. The only thing I know about is how to take a selfie, how to post a selfie, and how to message on my phone. So I think
And
we
how
should
to unlock your husband's phone too.
Yeah,
as well.
that,
She
that
knows
is
that
very,
too.
very easy. Just need
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
World This Morning.
on Twitter,
World This Morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
World This Morning.
And the fabulous repeat's going to be at
11:05 p.m.
till the next time, ladies and gentlemen. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.
morning.
Thank you very much.